Okay, hello. So you had asked about question two on page 130 for section 2.4. So in this question here, let me do this. Here we go. So this is office that requires 20 computers. It needs a server and it needs 8 printers. So the policy requires upgrades and renewals every 3 years, because the value of the computer equipment depreciates at a rate of 40%. So every 3 years, if they buy a computer, they then have to either buy new computers or they have to release computers. So this manager is looking at the cost of purchasing and of leasing. So we want to basically compare the both of them. So the first question here asks is, what's the benefit of leasing versus purchasing? Now, in this case here, what you're really kind of looking for is some basic like math numbers with this. So we're going to start out with question 1A. So we will do with leasing first because that's the easiest, right? Because with leasing, we don't got to figure out the depreciation. That doesn't matter in this case. So for leasing here, for the computers, so it's 3 years times um 50 55 48 20, right? So that would give me calculator here, 16,000 $644.60. So that's the lease in the computers. For the server, right? That's 3 times 2,200. So that's 6,600. And then for leasing the printers, so that's, oh, three times 215. That'd give you, what did I break? 215. 1,720. So we combine all that together. So these three numbers together gives us $23,889.60. So that's for the leasing. That's the easy part. Now um for the purchasing, that's where you might want to like look at something like this. We got to calculate this in this depreciation here. Now, I'm not going to do a full table for each of them. I'm going to do the shortcut, which is if I know it depreciates by 40% each year, for example, if I take this computer purchase, $24,000, I know that for the computers, well, I got to find 60% of that. It's depreciated 40% of that, right? Which means there's 60% of its value remaining. Now I can just do that 3 times. So times 0.6 times 0.6. Let me just times 0.6. Or that's the same thing as 24,000 times 0.6 to the power of 3. Actually, sorry. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll keep it like that. So let's do that. So for our computers in this case, again, so it's 24,000 times 0.6 to the power of 3. If I do that, 24,000 times 0.6 power of 3, I get $5,184. So this is the same thing as this table, just in one short way of doing it. Now for the servers, so that's the same thing, $7,200 times 0.6 to the power of 3, right? It's depreciated 40%. If I do that, it's 1,555.20. And then if I do the printers, so that's $5,200 times again 0.6 to the power of 3 equals 1123.20. So now for these computers, so if I add these up, actually, before I even add this up, actually, so let's think about this. So this is how much these are worth, right? But remember, I need to get rid of these now. I can sell these for a small profit. So to purchase these computers was not actually 24,000. it was about 19,000, right? So if I take, for the computers, again, take 24,000 minus 5184, is the actual cost of those is $18,816. For the server, same thing. It's 7,200 minus this 1,155. And I would get $5,644.80. And then for the printers, same thing, right? 5,200 minus that 1,123 would give me 4076 point. Oh gosh. 4076.80. So now if I add these up, I get the true cost, right? So now if I add all those up, I get $28,537.60. So now if we're really looking at this, what do you think we should do? Leasing is cheaper than buying in this case, right? But buying is you own it after that. So um maybe if this 3 year thing didn't exist, maybe if it was instead 4 years, this would probably be cheaper at that point. So in this case, you're looking to write something, just that talks about that. Leasing is cheaper than buying, but if they had it for 4 years, buying would likely be more like cost effective or whatever it is, right? You're doing some justification, okay? Now for question two or B, right? Sorry, question B, analyze. Sorry, would it be better for the company to purchase or lease and explain? Well, what would you recommend? Well, they said that we got to do every 3 years, and if that's the case, you probably want to lease it in that case, right? Why? Simply because it's cheaper, and maybe there's different warranties or something. You don't have to maintain them as well, whatever it is. But point being, that's what that would be. So let me know if that helps.